when last we wandered these myriad plains.
Her face becomes as stone. There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for the best. Oh, Seer is so fortunate. She shall soon be relieved of the burden of this life.
And still, we journey on.
One more named personage in here. Let's talk with awaiting death, shall we? Before you is a young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles beneath his eyes. He is staring at the wall with a somber expression.
Greetings.
The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead as if he is seeing something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar.
Can I ask you some questions?
The dustman doesn't respond. He keeps staring into the distance.
Alrighty then. Mort hisses at you. Let's go, Chief. This dusty might as well be fertilizer.
Fair enough. Let's get out of here.
As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks. His voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear the words. You think he said something about a contract.
What did you say?
The dustman turns to you, his face like stone, his eyes dead. Why did you sign that dead contract?
We'll do... Well, considering that Death and I aren't on speaking terms anymore, I considered it a no-lose proposition.
He looks at you with an odd expression.
What do you mean? I've seen what lies beyond death.
The boy stares at you. You are speaking truthfully. He looks at you in amazement. What is there? What did you see?
Truth. I lay on an island, adrift upon an ocean of great darkness. The island was formed of shadow stones, but the stones were not stones, for they murmured and whispered to me in a speech I could not understand. There is no silence there, no comfort, and the chill burrows beneath the flesh and sinks into the bone.
There is no difference. He looks down at the floor and chews his lips with a strange expression. Beyond the shadow of this existence, more misery awaits. There is no oblivion, no cleansing. Nothing changes. The planes rotate, and nothing ever changes. Except you. You can still change. He scoffs. Nay, I have tried, repeatedly.
If you believe that, then it will be true.
It is more than belief. It is reality. His gaze turns dark. Have you seen this city? It rots. Everything within it rots with it. There is no hope. There is nothing to strive for. Everything is stained with darkness and shadow.
What about your beliefs as a dustman? Isn't that a worthy enough goal?
He nods. The dustman philosophy is a worthy goal. Else I would not have become a dustman.
Then heed this. You are too eager to reach oblivion. According to the tenets of the dustman, that very eagerness to reach the true death will keep you forever from it.
He snarls. You sound like one of the factors. They never cease lecturing me.
They are correct to do so. They have only your wish to die at heart. If you wish to reach the true death, you must come to terms with this life first, no matter how painful it seems to you. It is an opportunity, and you are still young. Perhaps seeing more of this life will calm your eagerness for death.
But how?
He seems puzzled. How should I deal with it?
You must endure this life. In enduring, you will learn to let the pain and misery wash over you. Soon, they will not affect you at all, and then you will begin to make progress toward the true death and the oblivion that you seek.
The boy falls silent, thinking. Eventually, he turns back to you. Your words carry weight, sir, and a fresh perspective. I will do as you have said.
That is all I ask. Live, grow old, and learn. Farewell.
Ooh, looks like my skills have increased.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Let's see what we can gain here.
Oh, we didn't level up, just Mort. Well, that is fine. We will process his level then. Alright, Mort, go ahead and level up, please. Alright, looks like he gained 10 hit points. 2 from the con bonus. That's great. We can't really choose any skills or whatever, and our companions' things don't level up. Alignment. Right now, chaotic good. How about ourselves, I wonder? We are chaotic... Oh, that's Mort still. Gotta select myself. We are true neutral still. So we have not managed to do enough actions to align ourselves with any alignment. We start as neutral, and we are still neutral. So there are several things that we have racked up to... Oh, there's another named person, Old Copper Eyes. I didn't notice them before. I suppose before we head out and do these quests for Narosh, that we should speak with Old Copper Eyes. Before you is a tall, silent figure. He could easily pass for a statue, although the deep furrows in his face and brow make you wonder if the sculptor was a little too eager in defining the face with a chisel. He looks well over 50 years old, but exactly how much over 50, it's hard to tell. As he slowly turns to look at you, you catch the dull sheen of copper in his eyes. Hence the name.
Greetings.
Old Copper Eyes stares at you. His eyes are difficult to make out past the black well of his eye sockets, but they look to have a coppery sheen about them. And we don't want to ask about dead contracts. If we try to sign more than one, that also is not good for our alignment that we're going for.
I have some questions.
He says nothing. Oh well, never mind then. Farewell. I guess we can't really interact with Old Copper Eyes after all. We have a mausoleum to clear for Narosh, and also to find a dustman who is not a dustman, who is apparently ripping people off. Alright, so we want to get busy doing some of these quests. However, we also want to try to not miss a bunch of stuff here. And if I recall correctly, there's someone in one of these buildings. Is this the crypt we came out of? Let me just jump in here really quick. Yes, okay, this is where we came from. So I'm guessing it's this house, and I really probably should have went in here first because I think he has a quest that we can complete in the Gathering Dust bar.
Right.
So we'll do that. And also, before we go to the mortuary, we want to pick up another companion. If I can manage to do that. Angiar. Hello, sir. This man looks haunted. His eyes are half-lidded, as if he has had trouble sleeping, and his hair is long and unkempt. His beard is flecked with bits of dead skin and old bits of food. He doesn't seem to notice you as you approach.
Greetings.
Oops. No, not leave the man alone. Maybe I should stop trying to click and hit the buttons. Greetings. The man glances up at the sound of your voice, and his slack expression vanishes. It looks like someone has lit 2 fires in his eyes.
What be your business barging into me house?
His eyes narrow and his teeth clench.
Get out, or I'll send you back to whatever grave you crawled from.
Calm yourself. I had some questions. The man's face turns blood red, and he begins shouting.
Are you daft?
With a snarl, he spits at your feet.
You filthy scar-ridden dog, off with you, or even the powers won't be able to save your hide.
Farewell, then. The man throws a parting shot at your back.
You'd best never cross me door again, you wretch-stinking bastard.
Leave without another word. Well, maybe your wife will have kinder words for me. This woman looks to be in her middle years, and her hair has streaks of gray running through it. Lines of worry crisscross her face. As she sees you, she sees torn between asking you to leave and calling for the man at the table. Greetings.
You'd best leave, for I called me husband. He won't take kindly to you having barged your way into our home.
Calm down. I just had some questions. She glances toward her husband, worry in her eyes.
I have not the time, stranger. Do not be troubling me with such things.
Well, excuse me. Are you all right?
Me?
She seems surprised.
Oh, aye.
She lowers her voice.
You'd best leave. Me husband has not been himself of late. You'd best not provoke him with your presence.
I spoke with him. He seems troubled. What's wrong with him?
He's been out of sorts of late. A touch of the cough, maybe.
She gives an unconvincing half shrug. If you tell me what's wrong, I may be able to help.
I think he's done something he regrets.
Her worried expression melts into despair.
I think he signed one of the dead contracts. I cannot imagine what possessed him to do such a foolish thing.
Dead contracts?
The dead, the dustmen, have contracts that give them the right to someone's body after they die.
What do the dustmen do with the body after death?
Animate it with their black magics. Turn it into one of the walking dead. Make it a worker till...
She looks at her husband helplessly.
Till it rots away.
Why did your husband sign such a thing?
He may have been goat eager to bring home some more drink than custom. He's prideful, but I think he's hurt himself more by doing so.
Can this contract be undone?
She looks at you surprised, then sighs. I've tried. I've spoken to the dustman he did the signing with, but he's cold and chill like all the dusties. And he even lectured me on me husband, as if I had no right to try and help him.
Her lips become a tight, thin line, as if picturing the dustman's face.
He was cold, cruel, he was.
Let me see what I can do. Who was this dustman your husband signed the contract with?
The dusty calls himself Graveson. I know not his first name. He has a table at the dustman bar in the hive. Gathering dust, I believe the place is named. You can most likely find him there, trying to get more people to sign his contracts.
I'll seek him out then. Where is this gathering dust bar? Not that we haven't been there before.
Updated my journal.
Head out to the street outside, go to the memorial stone, then head south and west from there.
She taps her finger against her chin.
You should run right into it. There's one of them.
Her face wrinkles in disgust.
walking corpses out front.
Yes, the post, I know all too well. I'll see what I can do.
I won't turn away such a friendly gesture.
She seems grateful. Then her worried expression returns.
But I must ask you not to let on that I ask you to do such a thing. Me husband has a terrible temper, and if he were to find out...
She shudders. Vow, I promise that your husband will not find out.
Thank you, stranger. I appreciate your help.
It's no trouble. I'll go see about undoing your husband's contract now.
All right. So we should be able to accomplish this forthwith. Know exactly where we're heading. Which one of these dustmen is called Gravesend? I don't remember seeing that name. Awaiting death. Narosh. Seer the Skeptic. Oh, Mortai Gravesend. Well then, we will talk with him. Ah, traveler. Mortai smiles as he sees you. We meet again. And how may I help you on this fine Siglin day?
I had some questions for you.
Of course, of course. Mortai nods. It would be my pleasure to answer any questions you may have.
I'd like to cancel the... No, not that one. Are you the one who signed that dead contract with Angiar?
Mortai frowns. He looks puzzled. Mayhap. He thinks for a moment. I do not recall the name, however.
Well, I would like to settle that contract.
Mortai looks wary. I'm afraid that is impossible. The contract is signed, settled and binding.
The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It is causing him distress. It is possible that he may not even be able to approach the true death with such emotions churning in his mind.
Mortai chews it over for a moment. It looks like you've negotiated him into a corner. I cannot. It is a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot...
So, what you're saying is that you'll deny him the true death for the sake of a piece of parchment.
Mortai sighs and holds up his hands as if to placate you. Look, it is not how you are making it out to be.
You obviously hold the philosophy of the dustman in contempt to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, they soon will.
Mortai glares at you for a moment, opens his mouth, closes it, then opens it. By the nine hells, wait here. He drops his voice to a whisper, and keep your bone box latched. He gives an angry scowl and stomps off. We'll wait. A few seconds later, he returns. He is holding a dusty piece of parchment, which he gives to you. Here, he sniffs disdainfully. All for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone and nettle me with your preachings no longer.
I will leave, for now. Farewell, Mortai. You better watch yourself and your dealings.
All right.
Alright, let's take this contract back to this gentleman. Hello, Angiar. I have something for you. You see Angiar. He doesn't look any better than before. As you approach him again, he turns slowly to face you. His face tightens. Ye again. Didn't you hear me the first time? You pox-ridden dog. Get out of my house, or so help the powers I'll carve you where you stand.
Show him the dustman contract.
As you pull out the contract, the blood drains out of Angiar's face. For a moment he seems at a loss for words.
Then his temper quickly resurfaces.
Where did you get that? By the powers, you best tell me.
I took it from a dustman named Mortai. It has your name on it.
Angiar can't seem to take his eyes from the contract.
Why'd you bring it to me? He looks suspicious.
To ransom it.
Tear up the contract.
Updated my journal.
You tear up the parchment, and Angiar's eyes follow the bits of paper as they float to the ground with a desperate look. He shudders slightly, then straightens, as if a great weight was lifted from him.
Yeah.
He looks like he is about to thank you, then stops and stares at you suspiciously.
Nothing's free.
Not in the hive, Cutter. Consider this free, and expect a lot of rules in the hive to change while I'm around. Angiar's angry expression crumbles. He looks tired of fighting his good fortune.
I must have prayed to the right powers this past half-month,
he sighs.
You have me thanks, Cutter, for whatever that's worth.
Just don't make the same mistake again. I may not be around next time to help you. And you're welcome. Is there anything else we can find out from him, I wonder? You see Angiar. He looks better than before. Some color has returned to his face, and his eyes have lost their haunted look. As you approach him again, he turns slowly to face you, and he snorts.
If it isn't the hive's own saint of sods like myself, he grunts. What can I do for you?
I had some questions.
Ask your questions.
Can I ask why you signed the Dustman contract?
Perhaps it's the sheer amount of riches and wealth that surrounds you that distract you, he snorts. We have less than nothing, and I needed Jink. Didn't seem to matter much at the time where it might come from, and selling me body to the Dusties is a lot more honest than most work around here.
And what caused you to change your mind?
It's just, he sighs then. I saw one of them zombies on the street a half a month ago. One of them zombies that work for the Dusties. And it stabbed me. In me heart. I knew I'd made a mistake. I didn't want to be any part of that after death.
Well, we've all had our share of mistakes.
I suppose so.
I had some other questions.
Ask.
I'm looking for a man named Farad. Do you know where I can find him?
Angiar nods. Aye, that name be known to me, and not a fond name it is either.
What can you tell me about him?
He frowns. He's one of them collectors, one with a long shadow. He has quite a few boys at his beck and call. He may not be a lord of the realm, but he's not a smart one to tangle with on his own.
Do you know where I can find him?
Updated my journal.
Aye, but I wouldn't be doing you a favor telling you.
His frown deepens.
One of me kin fell in with his lot a few months back and spilled some of the dark of old Farad. To hear tell, Farad's actually got his kip buried somewhere under Ragpicker Square. To get to it, there's some kind of portal you need to jump through while carrying some jink in your hand.
All right. Thank you very much, Angiar. I will see you later. No, let's ask. I saw one thing I wanted to ask about. Do you mind if I rest here?
Angiar nods. That's the least I can do. I'll have me wife get some blankets out for you.
Thanks.
Sweet. So now we have a location we can come to rest, which is very useful, especially when we don't have to pay for such a thing.